on this Iran deal that Donald Trump has signed, what do you make of it? I mean, would you call it a meaningful deal?
Well, we strongly welcomed it. It's the first step. Of course, there are more negotiations and detailed discussions to have, but we have been strongly pushing for an agreement that means we can get the Strait of Hormuz open. We've got to get global shipping moving again. That helps us back at home. And of course, we've always maintained that Iran must not be able to develop a nuclear weapon. This is about our security and also our economic security, because those go hand in hand.
The US is pledging to stop sanctions on Iran when a final deal, if a final deal is signed. Would the UK do that?
Well, our sanctions and European sanctions have all been linked to the nuclear threat from Iran, and it's why we strengthened the sanctions in the autumn, because we were concerned that Iran was going further in terms of the development of nuclear weapons and was not allowing the inspections that we need. And so that's why our sanctions have always been linked to progress on those nuclear issues, and that won't change.
So if there is progress before this 60 days, would we look to remove those sanctions?
Well, what the UK, France, Germany and other leaders have said was that we would make sure that we would look at sanctions only in response to progress being made. So that's they've said that that's important, but that's always been our position, that those sanctions have to be linked to the nuclear progress. So that's what we want to see.
Do you think there will be nuclear progress? I mean, the line in this MOU says Iran reaffirms it shall not procure or develop nuclear weapons. I mean, do you think there is going to be progress? Do you believe that?
Well, it's really important that this agreement does include that agreement that Iran should never have a nuclear weapon. We cannot have that kind of threat to the region or to the world. We now also need to make sure that we have the technical talks about the implementation. That includes about stockpiles, it includes about inspections and verification. All those issues are really important. So those technical discussions need to take place. But the bottom line is really simple. Iran must not have a nuclear weapon.
Do you think we're looking at a deal similar to the JCPOA, the deal that Obama signed?
Well, we need the technical talks to move forward. We need the progress on the inspections. But I think just for us, it's that same bottom line about not having a nuclear weapon. We were worried in the autumn that seemed to be going in the wrong direction. That's why we strengthened our sanctions. And now we want to support the talks and the progress.
So would you be satisfied with something similar to the JCPOA?
Well, we will keep supporting the talks. We're obviously we want to be able to offer technical support and so on. But these are currently talks between the US and Iran. But we want to stand ready, really, to provide that technical assistance to those talks.
Do you see the UK having a big role? Because there are lots of questions about our role on the world stage right now when it comes to opening up the Strait of Hormuz.
So I think already what we've done is built this international coalition around freedom of navigation, that principle that the straits must be toll-free. If you go back a couple of months, there was a lot of talk about tolls, and it was coming from all over. And we always took a strong view that you could not have tolls in the Strait of Hormuz. That would go against international law and the law of the sea, but it would also set a precedent that would undermine global shipping, the global economy, and principles that we have always stood up for. So I did convene foreign ministers from all over the world, and we've held meetings, including jointly with France, of up to 50 countries, all to sign up to keep that principle and that pressure around freedom of navigation.
What does that actually mean, though? What does that mean in practice?
So what it means is a strong global commitment against tolls in the Strait of Hormuz, and a strong global commitment that we'll defend those principles of freedom of navigation. I think the second role that we can play is the work that the UK and France have been doing together to pull together a multinational maritime mission to provide support for demining, to provide support for reassurance for shipping, if it is needed, in order to get the strait fully moving again.
What's the kind of time frame on that? I mean, I know there's a ship already in the region, British ship with demining capabilities. Could that be on the strait very soon, demining the strait?
Well, we want Iran to do the demining because they should know, frankly, where they put the mines in the first place. So we want that process to start. But what we're doing is, with France and also with the support of other countries as well, making sure that there is demining capability in the region, ready to be used if it is needed, and also to be able
When
to
could it be needed, do you think?
So we don't yet know the full timetable, but from our point of view, we want this to move as fast as possible. We really need the ships going through. It's not just about oil and gas, it's also about fertiliser, it's about food crops across the globe. And if we don't get things moving fast, this has a long-term impact. This has an impact for the whole of the next year, because if we miss planting seasons across the world, and that's why we really need to get this.
So coming days and weeks, we could be playing a role there.
Well, we want to see it moves as fast as possible, but look, there's technical issues here when it comes to demining. That's got to be done properly and safely. We want Iran to get moving on this, but we're also standing ready to provide additional support and assistance. And the UK demining capabilities are currently on the way to the region. We've got one ship there already, and we've also got the work we're doing with France, who also have capability in the region as well.
We're hearing reports this morning of an Israeli drone strike in southern Lebanon. Does this entire deal hang in the balance while there is still fighting between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon?
I'm extremely concerned about what's happening in Lebanon. We have said for a long time we're deeply worried about Israeli escalation in Lebanon. We've also strongly condemned the Hezbollah attacks that we've seen, because Hezbollah have been a proxy for Iran. But we've also continually been extremely concerned and critical about the Israeli escalation.
Should Hezbollah and Israel be involved in this deal?
Well, I think what we need, when it comes to Lebanon, what we need is the Israeli government and Lebanese government to work together, and to work together against Hezbollah, and to work together for the sake of the people of Lebanon.
Is there time for that? This deal right now says that this is on all fronts. Fighting must stop. Is there time for that?
Well, we want everybody to respect the ceasefire in Lebanon. I think that's extremely important. And then I do hope that we can see the cooperation between the Israeli and Lebanese governments, because that is the best thing for the people of Lebanon. I actually think it's the best thing as well for the security of Israel, for the security of Lebanon, and for the security of the whole region too.